But I agree with everything you say.
Feminists are triggered that her boobs are big. I'm just gonna be honest. We're keeping it real on this channel. Subscribe. Conservative moms are freaking out over old clips of Andrew Tate saying this. Guys, if you're an Andrew Tate fan, you remember these clips. This is funny, but it's also unfortunate because, like I said, conservative moms and wives, sisters who thought themselves based are just discovering that their husbands, their brothers, and most of the men who voted for Trump are Andrew Tate fans. I think this is happening because Andrew Tate is now running for Prime Minister of the UK, and so he's forced himself into the political arena. Whereas before, his arena was enormous and loosely related to politics as he stood against the decay of masculinity and telling young men to self-actualize, look at themselves as individuals, etc., all of which invalidate left-wing presuppositions. But now he is overtly political. And so you see a lot of clueless women who, let's be honest, probably don't even know how to correctly use their smart TV. Oh my gosh, but he said this.
Start annoying me, trying to resist, and I just and then I grab you by your neck again. Then what the fuck are you gonna do when your face is collapsed and your fucking cheekbone's broken? You ain't gonna do shit but cry.
I guarantee I changed the way you look at sex forever.
Start annoying me, trying to resist.
Okay, look, comedians, Tim Dillon, other people, comedians say stuff that, if taken seriously, is way more heinous than this. It's beyond me how anyone could listen to this and not realize the comedic tone that Andrew Tate is taking here.
I guarantee I changed the way you look at sex forever.
Like, bro, someone who says that, first of all, he is objectively joking, and the people that know the full context, who have been watching him since 2020 or 2021, before he was even famous, which is where these videos come from. He was saying this stuff before he was famous. Would he say this stuff now, knowing that his audience is hundreds of millions? Probably not. But we know exactly where this is coming from, especially this clip here.
But you cry then.
I perfected this in pimp school. When I got my PhD, we had to practice if a girl comes at you, you cheater.
Dude, you realize what he's saying here? Anyone who takes this clip seriously is insane. He just said what we teach in pimp school. Like,
when I got my PhD,
his PhD, which is a running bit in Tate vids, by the way, because PhD, he says, stands for pimping hose degree.
You had to practice if a girl comes at you, you cheater, you cheating. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face, and then grip her up by the neck. Like, shut up, bitch! Her panties get wet. Machete's on the floor, her panties are all wet. You go, fuck her. That's how it goes. Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch, sex.
That's the viral video from TikTok when he originally blew up. But this video is from before he blew up. Anyway, the broader point here is not to necessarily even defend Andrew Tate. I mean, that's just self-evidently obvious. At this point, the people who hate on Andrew Tate are purified into a sect of the populace which is just either too emotional and cognitively weak to interface with reality, or they're just ridden with resentment, most of them leftists that can't stand objective truth to begin with and dedicate their lives to anti-truth, which unfortunately there's a lot of people who have had their lives destroyed to that extent. But there are old moms on the right, who thought that they were base, that thought that they were MAGA, and they thought that they represented the movement. And I want to remind all of those women that most women voted for Kamala Harris, and that this revolution is a masculine one. Trump getting elected, all our leaders are men. Elon Musk, not just men, they're the most competent, ultra-masculine men in society. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, RFK, the list goes on. Everyone that campaigned for him, Dana White, Vivek, all ultra-competent, successful men. That wasn't an accident. The reason for that is because the opposition was definitionally feminine in its architecture. The anti-reality cult of the left, which was at every opportunity saying the inverse of the truth, so that the list of things that they inverted is infinitely long, because take any truth, whether it be biological science, psychology, philosophy, morality, just practical life, systems of governance, etc. The left would take the opposite position of reality in order to spite, in their mind, reality which holds them accountable and judges the Marxist ideological cult as fraudulent. This is why the death cult of the left that was vanquished is inherently feminine. We know this also from science because, psychologically speaking, proclivity to abide in left-wing authoritarian regimes, which is what they attempted to perpetrate on the populace is positively correlated with a feminine temperament and low verbal IQ. Feminine temperament meaning feminine personality distribution. Low trait disagreeability, etc. High trait agreeability. In other words, easy to emotionally exploit, easily to convince of things which are untrue, easy to manipulate by an ideology which says, sacrifice your individual identity on the altar of identitarianism. You can be a good person, rather than taking responsibility for yourself and mirroring and reflecting and coherently embodying objective reality, which is technically exactly what men have to do when they become impressive. When they become men like Vivek or Elon Musk or Donald Trump or Andrew Tate, they have to embody reality, because that's functionally what masculinity is. That's also the reason why women are transfixed by masculinity, by the way. It's a very interesting mechanism. It's also the reason why, evolutionarily speaking, women's sexual attraction triggers are pre-selected by male competence hierarchies, meaning that the computation of mate selection is heavily outsourced to men competing with each other. It's very sophisticated, but the reason why that works and the reason why women have that circuit ingrained in their brain for millions of years is because they know that the men who can outcompete all the other men in the domain of competence, whether that be killing game to bring back home meat for the kids to eat, or building multi-billion-dollar companies, those are the men that are the best at embodying objective reality, and women's weakness is objective reality. They are too emotional. Their weakness is their inability to engage with logic, reason, rationality, and the left exploits that. It says notions of logic, reason, and rationality are oppressive. I'm going into depth here because it's important for these women who are considering themselves on the right to understand that they can't dispense with what brought them here. Because not only is it not going away, because we won't let you take it away, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, these men, they don't care what you think. But if you dispute these hierarchies of ultra-competent masculinity out of a resentment for the things that they say or the things that they do. I get that Andrew Tate's not a Christian, but he recently said this: the UK will not be a tool for Islamists or Zionists. This is his old opinion when he said England needs Islam. This is what he tweeted just days ago. So the fact that he's not Christian or whatever, or he doesn't have just one midwife who's a 6 like me, therefore he's a bad man. Honey, how many wives has Elon Musk had? Think about it. Most of them have been supermodels. He had Amber Heard dressing up in cosplay for him. How many wives has Donald Trump had? You understand that the men at the top of these hierarchies, which have just saved Western civilization, which you voted for, are more like Andrew Tate than you realize. They've all been with countless women that are hotter than you, I'm sorry. They've had kids with multiple women, and they are respected and universally admired by men across the planet. This knee-jerk reaction to Andrew Tate is mostly coming from, again, women and effeminate, weak soy men on the right. Men who on some level want to deny reality and say, the only thing that matters is being loyal to 1/6. No, that's the only thing that matters for men in your position, because you don't have the option for multiple supermodels to adore you and beg to have your children. But when you're at the level of saving Western civilization, let me show you how different Andrew Tate is from the average man, just from a practical perspective. Let me show you why Andrew Tate is not dating 1/6, okay? Let me show you why Andrew Tate doesn't have a single wife like you. This is Andrew Tate explaining what he did on Tuesday.
Are you Christmas shopping?
Yeah, because I have two Ferrari SF90s, and then the SF90X
Each Ferrari SF90 is worth $1 million.
X came out, but I already had two SF90s, so I was deciding if I get the XX. But then I bought two McLaren W1s,
Those cars are worth $700,000 each.
which came
Oh, excuse me. No, those cars are worth $3 million each. I was thinking of the 765, which he has 7 of.
out. People who understand cars understand these are all V8 hybrids. The W1s are $3 million each. I bought two from McLaren, because 765 is obviously my favorite car. I have 7 of those.
Those are worth $700,000 each.
But I was deciding on the XXs, and then the Aston Martin Valhallas come out, so I'm thinking if I buy 3 of these, one for the Dubai collection, one for the
Those are worth north of $1 million each.
European collection, and one to drive, then I don't need the XX, so I'd actually probably be quite
You're thinking of how your husband drives a pickup truck now, aren't you? This is what he did on Tuesday.
a smart financial decision to spec and order 3 Aston Martin Valhallas today.
Andrew, no one needs 3. One I can get down with, 2, one for you, one for Tristan. No one needs 3.
No, I have a collection in Europe of cars never driven, and I have a collection in Dubai of cars never driven, and then I have one I'm going to drive with. So I have to spec 3 now. So then I have, from the hybrid V8 supercars, I'll have 2 SF90s, I'll have 3 Valhallas, I'll have 2 W1s, and then obviously the other hybrids I have coming are the 2 Chimeras I've ordered from Kernan.
Those cars are worth like $5 million.
And then that's all my hybrids. Electric cars, I have the Rimac and the Rimac R.
Those cars are worth $3 million each.
Navara R, both of those. And then when it gets to the normal engine cars, which are not hybrid, I have the Bugatti, I have the Jesco.
The Bugatti's worth $5 million. The Jesco's worth $3 million.
And everything else. Revuelto I also have, which is a hybrid.
Worth $400,000.
So I also got the Revuelto, and I've got 2 of the new Bugattis coming, which are hybrid also.
$5 million each.
So everything is moving to hybrid eventually, but I think that, I mean, I haven't bought many Aston Martins recently. What did I buy this year? I bought the new Vantage, I bought the V12 Vantage, the old shape, I bought the DBS 770, I bought the DB12, I bought the Vanquish.
Those cars are all like $300,000, $400,000, $600,000 cars.
So I've only bought 5 Astons this year.
He's only bought 5 Aston Martins this year. Your husband, if you don't understand what this means, go get your husband and have him watch this. I understand a lot of you don't know what this means. That's why I'm giving you the price tags behind it. This is what he did on Tuesday. I want you to understand this is what he did on Tuesday. And this man is not even 1% as rich as Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is another one of these men that we all idolize and want to run the government. You understand? This guy's not even 1% as rich as Elon.
So by adding 3 more, 8 Astons a year, it's about normal. Then I've got the DB12 I've never even seen, the new Vantage I've never even seen, the new Vanquish I've never even seen.
He's got cars worth in excess of $10 million that he's never even seen.
I've never even seen any of them. 3 more of these. Do I have, how many Astons do I have total? 15? This is what I mean. I have 15 Porsches, I have 8 Lambos.
15 Porsches, 8 Lamborghinis.
I have 16 Raris and
16 Ferraris. Your husband drives an F-150. You understand? He's married to you. That's fine, because you're a 6. And you can't drive. See what I'm doing? The same thing that you saw Andrew Tate doing in that video that I played at the start.
Aston's actually my favorite brand, so I should have a lot more. I should have at least double.
This guy makes close to $1 million a day from The Real World, which is the rebranded Hustlers University, which teaches men how to make money, so he can afford it. But now I want you to look at this. This is the video that has entered the bubble. It's pierced the sphere of a lot of conservative women that were like, oh my gosh, yeah, voting for Trump is about wearing sundresses while being a 6 and having an average 1960s mentality of what it means to live in America. MAGA is not traditional conservatism. It's a new movement. Andrew Tate reaches tens of millions of young men a day. Your old perspectives are irrelevant, but lucky for you, the charge is being taken up by men who make it their job to know what they're talking about.
Meet you. I'm a big fan.
So this is what they're upset about. Trump's lawyer is talking and, let's be honest, fawning over Andrew Tate because, as most attractive feminine women do, they find ultra successful, competent, respected, tall, rich men to be attractive. Interesting how that works. Oh my gosh, you're so shallow.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm a big fan.
Well, nice.
She's a big fan of Andrew Tate. So many conservative tradcon women could not stand this statement. And I'm going to be honest right now. It's because she's hotter than them. It's because she is hotter. And the thing about beauty, it's very similar, interestingly enough, to masculine competence because you can't argue with it. In the same way you can't argue with a man who pulls up in a Ferrari. What are you going to do? Say it's not a Ferrari, say that it's not expensive. No one will take you seriously. It's the same thing as saying this woman's not beautiful. Or the same thing as saying this woman is not objectively above average in terms of attractiveness. And women know that they can't argue with that because men see it and it is what it is. They know that men can see that this woman is attractive and therefore high value, especially considering that she backed up President Trump. We know that she has the right ideas, etc. And so what they're upset about is that they can't argue that attractive feminine women with the right ideas find men like Andrew Tate successful because of internal difficulties they have due to their feminine personalities parsing reality.
Great to meet you. I'm a fan. You're the one saving Trump. You're doing more important work than me.
America, not just Trump. And I agree with everything you just said. And I think that your anger is the same that President Trump has for our
It is. And that's the reason why all of Andrew Tate's fans voted for Trump.
country. And the time is now for us to stop being wimps. I think that's exactly the right.
All these ultra competent men have the same message. Because at the end of the line, when you say men must take responsibility for their actions and build a better world by acknowledging objective reality and competing with each other, the outcome that you get is inherently a society that values laws, that values morality, that is Christian, has Christian values, protects women, protects children, is rich, is prosperous, values all the presuppositions found in the Constitution. That's why those principles that they listed in the Constitution, they said we find to be self-evident because they were derivative of reality. Trump, Elon, Andrew Tate, they all stand from different angles, but they all stand for the same message, which is transcending the death cult, anti-reality resentment of the left.
Right sentiment. And I also have to say that I sympathize with you because I think you go through a lot of the same show me the person, I'll find the crime that President Trump has gone through.
Right.
And
this is all just self-evidently true. Any person that is familiar with the Andrew Tate case or followed it loosely knows what's going on. The case, it's all just completely fabricated. Andrew Tate is a victim of lawfare the same way Trump was. And make no mistake about it, they were going to put Trump in jail if he didn't win the presidency. They 100% were going to do that because they're corrupt, because they're evil. Those people will go after the most competent, respected, well-known men in the world for a reason. They target them because if they can tear down the symbol, then they can get men to stop aiming for it. Jordan Peterson talked about this for years and years in a row. Men orient themselves with a goal, especially young men, and it's very important for them to do that. And right now, that's being attacked. Young men have been told for the last several years that engaging in that process is oppressive, that their ambition is a product of tyrannical urges and destructive, corrupt, patriarchal forces. And they've had that message pushed on them by the same people that are trying to tear down Andrew Tate, put him in jail, same people that tried to tear down Donald Trump and put him in jail. It's exactly the same.
it's ironic that
Most people on the right know this, of course. I'm talking to the few who don't.
Benny has you on today because, as you know, President Trump just got sentenced in what literally will be one of the most tragic stories in American history and democracy and the justice system that I used to be proud of being a part of. But I agree with everything you say.
Feminists are triggered that her boobs are big. I'm just going to be honest. We're keeping it real on this channel. Subscribe.
And I have your back out here in the States. And when I saw that you were going to be on, I said to Benny, I have to meet Andrew Tate.
It's interesting, too, how you can really tell leftist women are triggered by all the MAGA women because the MAGA women, the prominent ones, are all hot. They're all universally hot. And there's a resentment that I never talk about. Men very rarely talk about this on X, but we see it. We notice. We can tell who's upset. I'll just put it that way.
There is literally only one person with the same amount of anger and fire, and that's probably me and President Trump. But
you see how feminine she is? She always puts the glory back to Trump, as it should be, and she's the one fighting for him. Dude, no wonder Trump chose her as a lawyer. This is exactly what a woman should look like. This is exactly how a woman should act. And all these women that want to consider themselves conservative or, America first, look to this. This is exactly what it is. Your masculinity is not attractive because it's counterfeit. It's cringe. It's like, to you, it would be like a man in high heels in a dress pretending to be a woman. It's like, what the we don't take that. We don't take it seriously. We find feminine, attractive women like this and take them seriously.
it's because you love.
And if your husband isn't telling this to you, it's because you're a 6 and he's a 6. And he's not buying Jesco's worth $3 million on Tuesday, 4 at a time. You understand?
What's right, and you're being under siege, and I see it, and just keep fighting. I mean, I'm here for it.
And it's not just the money. Let me make that clear too. The money is as a direct result of competence and competing with other men. This is something that's been happening for a long time. Andrew Tate, as all men do who reach this level, worked incredibly hard through grueling sacrifice for years with no one knowing him before this happened.
Right. There is no time
Before he was able to buy Valhalla hypercars 3 at a time.
anymore for weakness. We are being destroyed, and we need strong, powerful voices like yours and
Strong, powerful voices that are men. Because again, think about it. All of the voices in the government now that are coming to replace these people are literally masculine men. We're going to deport them. America first. Fire the useless DEI. Put competency first. These are literally all messages that are masculine, that are spoken by the most impressive, competent men in society. Like, the archetypes aren't even ignorable anymore.
yeah, I got your back over here.
So anyway, that's the clip that has them triggered. They got, the feminists are mad. And when you understand who's mad, it makes more sense. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not picking on these people. I'm making a point, which is true. Look, I agree with a lot of these people. These people are Christian. They think a lot. They tell themselves that they have the same values as me, right? But when it comes to understanding where these values come from and how we conduct warfare to instantiate them, it includes humor. It includes convincing young men. Dude, no one else besides Andrew Tate was able to reach
I guarantee
tens of millions, hundreds of millions in total of young men, convincing them to take on personal responsibility in the same way Andrew Tate did. This is the reason why Andrew Tate and Elon Musk are aligned. This is the reason why Trump and Elon Musk are aligned. It's very clear and simple. This is a very important video. And if you're watching on X, be sure to retweet it, like the post. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to support me wherever you're watching, since my main source of income, YouTube, has been demonetized, click the link in the description, scroll down and become a member for less than the price of a coffee. It makes a big difference, and it triggers the communist and feminine resentful men. I hope this video helped. I'll see you guys in the next one.